everybody. This is Yan Dai. I also go by Diane. I'm a PhD student majoring in educational psychology at Auburn University. Today is my great honor and privilege to invite Dr. Whitehead to share his research experience with us.
Good day, all. First, I want to say thank you to Diane and for this opportunity to come on and have a chat.
Dr. Whitehead is a professor at Virginia Military Institute. He's also a senior chair for the ARA Studying and Self-Regulated Learning Special Interest Group. And today, Dr. Whitehead is going to talk about his research, give some advice to graduate students, and share his vision for the development of the SIG. Dr. Whitehead, do you mind to talk a little bit about yourself and your history with the Studying and Self-Regulated Learning Special Interest Group, please?
Sure. I'm a prior military officer. I was in the Air Force for a number of years. After that, I had opportunities to work as government contractor within in private industry, but really what changed my life, and this is where the PhD work comes in, is I worked at the federal government. And during working at the federal government, I worked at NASA. And while at NASA, one of my bosses said, you know, if you want to hang around here, we're all PhDs, so consider a PhD. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really thinking about that right now. But it things worked out, and I could tell the story later of how it worked out, how I went from NASA to the PhD program. But as far as the SIG is concerned, my first initial exposure was my committee chair, Dr. Anastasia Kitsantis, the well-renowned Dr. Kitsantis. And she often told me about the self-reg SIG, and offered and suggested that I contact Dr. Benvenuti. Spoke to Heifer Benvenuti, and he's so exciting. He got me really excited about the SIG, and he told me about it, and I was all in. So I came in as the junior program chair. I learned a lot from the senior chair, who was Alexis Batista at the time. Then I became the senior chair, and I partnered with Abe Flanagan, and that was great. Had the opportunity to be the junior chair this prior year. I worked with Dr. Jill Salisbury Glennon. She's amazing, and so now I'm looking forward to taking over. She's a lot. She's done a lot, and I really appreciate it. But I'm excited to take over as the senior chair.
Would you please describe your research interests in general, and how did you get into the line of your research, please?
Sure. So it started a long time ago. It started, I think it started when I was in high school. I went to a STEM high school. And at the time, I was really interested in STEM career. Without going into detail, one of my teachers, I did poorly in a test, and he disheartened me. He said, well, maybe you're not cut for this stuff. So it had a significant impact on me. And I pivoted and decided against a STEM career. Fast forward to my NASA days. I was working in the Department of Education at NASA, and I was charged with expanding the pipeline of STEM candidates. And I said, well, that should be easy. It's NASA. Everybody wants to work here. No, it was a real challenge. And one of the things that got me interested into pursuing my PhD was how can we help motivate students that want to go into STEM careers? Why is there such a dearth of college-educated STEM folks? And so what I started exploring was the effect of close social groups, family members, teachers, coaches, educators, friend groups on STEM degree persistence. And so my research is trying to get more STEM educated folks ready to kind of help serve the country. And my focus area, I really think it's a pivotal point, is college students. I think that's it's a nexus where you're transitioning from child to young adult, and before you go into the career field. So that's really my focus area.
Okay. Sounds like you really enjoy your research, right?
I really do.
So what do you really enjoy about the research you're involved in? That's our next question. And how did your research evolve over time?
Sure. So initially, I was thinking big picture about how to help all students, K through 16 students. And then as I started doing some research, I started finding that there were a lot of students that were really into the STEM careers early, and then for whatever reason, they started falling out of the pipeline.
Okay.
And so I really focused on college students because I do think they have some idea of what they want. They've got some experience, and
Mhm.
I'm interested in kind of how I can help young adults complete their degrees.
Okay.
And selfishly, I want to benefit the country. I really want to help the
Yeah.
country do better. I'm a NASA nerd at heart, so I
I
really, I
can feel your
really,
passion.
that's
Yeah.
exactly it. I really wanted to. I mean, it helps with prior military. I'm
Mhm.
very interested in STEM fields and
Yeah.
college students. I think they're ready, and they're
Okay.
ready. And if I could help push them over, I think I could help them when they're on the cusp of their careers. So that's
Oh,
what my
okay.
research hopes to do.
Yeah. Yeah. That means a lot. Have
Yeah.
you ever met some challenges during this whole process? If there
The
are
whole
some challenges, how did you overcome them?
Sure, the challenge of my research in particular.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of my research initially focused on self-reporting,
Okay.
a lot of survey research, and I've got good results. And but then after I started speaking to some of the students, again,
Okay.
just doing follow-up, maybe some mixed methods, some qualitative research, and asking them questions,
Okay.
I started to find there was a disconnect. I started to find that, they were quick to say, I would ask them, who had the greatest influence on your STEM persistence? Oh, my mom. My mom was awesome, and she drove me to the museums and libraries. Okay, great. And then we started talking, and it comes to fun. They would say things like, and I say, oh, what's your older sister do? Oh, that's
Mm.
true. She is an electrical engineer. I never thought about it.
Okay.
I guess she
Yeah.
kind of did influence. And so
Uh-huh.
one of my challenges was there's a nuance between what somebody says on a survey and
Okay.
when you start digging into their life. um,
Uh-huh.
they started offering that there were other influences that they never considered. There were things
Oh,
they never thought about.
right, right.
So
Yeah.
that's a challenge. So for my work, I couldn't just depend on what they said initially. I had to go into a little
Yeah.
more detail with them, and
Yeah,
that's
I hear
tough.
you.
Time is of the essence, especially at this school. It's pretty tough to have to find the time to talk to these folks.
Yeah, it is. But how did you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, I would offer. I really volunteer a lot, whatever college or university I'm at, and
Okay.
I try to build those relationships so that
Mm.
it's a little when I come asking for a favor, it's
Mhm.
I've already kind of put in some equity. They understand what I'm trying to do, and
Okay.
I get involved with a lot of other professors'
Okay.
research and kind of help them to the extent possible. So
Okay.
what I find is building those connections with their colleagues and with the
Mm.
students, so that when you
Okay.
say, "Hey, would you mind speaking to me for about an hour?" they're a lot more likely to engage.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy. It's not easy. It's
No, it's
again,
not.
time. It's a limited commodity, and I
Right.
appreciate any time somebody can give me, whether it's a survey or an interview.
Mhm. Well, would you like also to extend the question to some other challenges, like career, any aspect you want to
Oh,
share?
sure. Just in general, career challenges I faced.
Whatever you want to share with our graduate
Sure,
students and encourage them.
sure. I would say this, and I was going to mention this as a piece of advice for upcoming
Mhm.
scholars.
Okay.
Yes, you want to get involved. Yes, you want to stay involved. One of the I mean, as everybody I'm sure knows as a student, assistant, getting into academia is tough, and
Yes.
securing that tenure track position can be a challenge.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't realize how much of a challenge it was tough, but I had to. What I found was being open, and I would offer this to students: be open to opportunities.
Okay.
It might not be a straight line from the graduation day to walking into
Okay.
a tenure track position.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to secure a postdoc position. Never thought about a postdoc.
Mhm.
But again, Dr. Kitsantis spoke to me about that, about as a possibility.
Okay.
And so it was amazing. Did a postdoc at the College of Worcester in Ohio. I would offer to students, just be open to
Okay.
these different opportunities and use
Yes.
them to the extent possible
Mhm.
to help you get on that track. So eventually I did get a professor or assistant professor position.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't a straight line.
I
Life takes you
know.
different paths.
Yeah. Just ups and downs. It's not easy.
Right.
Yeah. So what advice would you like to give to the upcoming scholars, especially our graduate students?
Sure. I would definitely, like I mentioned, just be open.
Okay.
Um, be open to the opportunities. Just keep your ears open. And
Hmm.
part of that is meeting with professionals, professors in different schools outside of maybe your grad school.
Okay.
Conferences are awesome to meet people that you've read
Yeah.
about and make a connection with them. I'll
Hmm.
speak for myself. I'm always interested in speaking to students about
Okay.
how I could help with some things that I've found.
Yeah.
Um, so I would offer that get involved, stay involved with the field, but
Okay.
also look outside of your bubble. Be open to some different things. On a
Yeah.
related note, you can volunteer to be a reviewer for the SIG.
Yeah.
We're always offering opportunities. It's a great way to get leadership positions.
Hmm.
I mean, Diane, even with you, I've seen your name around. You're involved in a lot of things.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, within the SIG. And so again, getting your name out there and
Yeah.
staying involved, you'll get to meet a lot of professionals.
Hmm.
You'll get involved with their research that's outside of maybe what you even thought about. It gives you
Oh,
some different
okay.
opportunities you might not have been thinking about. So
Yes,
I
that's
would
very
definitely
true.
offer that.
Okay. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I appreciate that. And as a senior chair of our SIG, would you like to share your plans or visions for the SIG, please?
I'm it started with Dr. Benvenuti. I'm telling you, I went and met him and he sat me down and he was very interested in my career and where I wanted to go. And then
Okay.
he started talking to me about the SIG. And again, his
Hmm.
his personality is infectious. And so he was telling me about have a committed group of people that we would love if you got more involved. So
Okay.
when I first joined as the senior, excuse me, as the junior program chair,
Hmm.
I was really impressed by the commitment of the reviewers
Okay.
to complete so many reviews and to give their best and to give their honest feedback
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the submissions. And
Hmm.
even as the senior chair, what I found as the senior chair was
Yeah.
sometimes you have to reach out to these reviewers at the last minute to do more work than they had initially
Okay.
initially signed on for, and
Yeah.
that's pretty tough.
Yes,
So,
I
in an
know.
effort to lighten the load for all volunteers and to give opportunities for new reviewers, uh,
Hmm.
one of my goals is to help solicit more reviewers and new reviewers so we could spread the work around. Again, our reviewers are awesome and they're willing to do more, but I'm sure they're very busy too. So I just want to kind
Yeah.
of spread that and give opportunities, like I mentioned, to grad students,
Hmm.
which would be more of my second goal is really to
Okay.
increase the number of graduate students.
Yeah.
I think grad students serve as the lifeblood for the continued evolving of the SIG.
Okay.
Our size provides unique opportunities for presentation for grad students, for
Hmm.
viewing papers, early leadership roles, and I really am looking to get more grad students excited about joining, as excited as I
Yeah.
was.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah,
Whitehead. Well, we have talked about he gave us some advice for the academic development for the graduate students and also shared the vision for the development of the SIG. Thanks so much for your time, Dr. Whitehead.
thank you, Diane. I appreciate
Thanks.